Call the meeting to order, the regular board meeting, Monday, March 11th, 2024 for the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Peoria, Illinois. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ahart.
Present.
Trustee Sterling Polk.
Present.
Trustee Knox.
Present.
Trustee Hare.
Present.
Trustee McBride.
Here.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept Trustee McBride via phone, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Pledge allegiance. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Slide.
That would be ugly.
Okay, the next item is the receipt and reading of minutes for the regular board meeting on February 12th, 2024. Should be in your packet. Everybody should have had a chance to review them. Any questions, comments, corrections? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Hearing none, pass. Next item, the reading and receipt of communications.
we have done.
Thank you. Report of officers and trustees.
I have one.
Yes, ma'am, go right ahead.
Okay, I'd like to make a suggestion that after in our board packet, we list the presenter who gave it, because there's been so many changes lately that we don't know everybody's name right off the bat. So I think that would be helpful. It could be a parenthetical expression and would work quite well. Thank you.
Sharon, can I want to make sure I'm on the same page. You want to go through at the board meetings and basically introduce ourselves? Is that what you're saying? Sharon?
Yes,
I just want to make sure
I didn't catch the question.
I think I didn't understand your statement. Did you want to, are you saying you want to go through and introduce, like an introduction at the beginning of every meeting? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I
Okay,
just think it should be written down somewhere.
written down. Oh, like a, okay. Like a, I think we do that though in the second page of the minutes. I think everyone that's here or virtual, is on here, I believe. Am I not correct with that, General Manager?
You're right.
Okay, that's what I thought. I've got that. So, yeah, it's in the second page of the board packet, Sharon.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
No,
Okay, thank you.
at this time.
Next item, the report of officers and trustees. Yes, ma'am.
The ADA committee did meet. We are gung-ho for our next event, which will be in July. We are thinking about changing the location, so we're kind of looking around. If anybody has any idea where we might go, where there's already traffic, we'd really appreciate that. Just give me a call and let me know. That's it.
How many people or seating are you looking for?
We probably have about 25 exhibitors. We thought about the mall, but then we didn't know where we put it in the mall. And then we thought about the Sears building, and then Doug and I talked, and he told me the condition of the Sears building. I was just thinking we could rent it, for one day, but that doesn't seem like it's an option. We talked about the transit center, but we didn't know how we could make that work either. So we're just looking for some place that already has traffic coming through it so that we can get more people that way. If not, we'll still be at the Civic Center.
Thank you. Any other officers or trustees? Hearing none, moving on. Oh, sorry, that was standing committees. I apologize. Report of the general manager.
Good evening. Couple of things left over from last month. I talked about our bus replacement. We did find out that the buses will start going into production next week. We should start seeing buses arrive here April 4th through the 17th. It'll take a little bit for them to put on the after factory parts, but depending on if everything's here and everything's ready to go, I'm not going to say when we'll see them rolling out, but late April, early May, I would hope. So that'll put Steve under the gun. Typically, FTA requires us to dispose of any buses after we get to a certain percentage. But this round, we're going to keep all 10 running as much as we can because of the backlog of buses that we have broke down. We don't want to get into that predicament again. So we'll take a nasty note from FTA and, you know, we can point at the buses that aren't running that should be, and I think we'll be okay. We can always put them in a contingency fleet. That's workaround for that. With that, we've got next month, there will be a presentation or a recommendation on the Low-No grant, and we're working on whether we're going to go for 5 or 10 buses on that, and whether they'll be battery electric or if we can get 100% biodiesel buses, which isn't looking too good yet, but we're going to keep trying on that. With that, we also have 5 battery electric buses that have been funded. So we will be working on getting that procurement out on the street as soon as possible. So also we have 5 buses slated for rehab. One is getting close to being done, and then they'll send one at a time as they go through that process. So, you know, by the end of fall, we should be in pretty good shape and have new ones coming to help the backlog. So also,
Question
there was
before you
some,
go to the next
excuse me.
item. Where's those for, the first group of 10, those were, I'm trying to refresh my memory because we've been through different iterations of different stuff.
Right.
Those are 10 refurbished buses.
coming next week.
Yeah.
They're brand new buses.
Those are new, that's not so the 4th group you talked about were the refurbished ones.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So those are brand new, so, and those are.
Those are
hybrid.
our buses we sent up, and they've basically stripped them down to everything and rebuild everything, engine, floor, seats, transmission, suspension.
So what are the type of the 10 new ones again?
They'll be Gillig,
I mean, are,
diesels.
okay, yeah, they're diesel.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd group that you talked about were fully, we went to the 3rd item, those are all fully electric or hybrid?
They will be battery electric.
Okay.
We probably won't go back to hybrids. We haven't seen the payoff on them.
Okay.
So they'll probably be Gillig battery electric. There's only 2 manufacturers left in the United States for battery electric buses, Gillig and New Flyer. And so far, everybody's giving Gillig a better mark than New Flyer. So we'll probably go that direction. But with that, there was some conversation about capital projects and what we should do next. I would say that we probably should get a strategic plan started soon. IDOT's going to have about $210 million for downstate capital projects. They haven't told us whether it's going to be an allocation or whether it's going to be grant recipients. I think they'll probably do a lot of allocation just because it'll be easier for them to give to the rural systems as well as small urbans. But I could be wrong. But they said it should be out. And the way they said it, end of 24, beginning of 25. But I don't know if that was fiscal or calendar year. But so we could see something by July, probably not till fall, but it could be December. So the announcement anyway. So, I think wraps that part up. I was going to give time to Paige for her to talk about her project. And then I'm also going to give some time to Emily, so.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to give a quick, very brief update on where we were at with our management action plan in response to our employee survey. So tomorrow we are going to be meeting, the management team is in person. We're going to be doing that once a month, every month. And we're going to go over our goals, KPIs, and the SWOT analysis. So that is supposed to take place tomorrow. So let's see, our employee recognition program, we're getting very close to launching that. We've got the GM's approval and some other things are falling into place, so we're hoping to launch that April 1st. Then our management training that we said that we would be doing, the first management training of the year was just a couple weeks ago. It was on the 5 languages of appreciation. I don't know if you've heard of that, 5 languages. Love languages, it's similar to that. So basically, we know everyone perceives things differently and likes different types of appreciation. So we just have to learn our people. There's not just a one-size-fits-all approach. The last thing was we agreed that every manager or each department, one representative from the department would ride a bus and engage with the employees and talk about, you know, what their concerns are or what's going great. So I'm happy to report that mostly every department did do that. They rode the bus in February. And that is all I have. If there are no, oh, actually, I wanted to say the culture committee. So the first step of our culture committee was to, you know, bring everybody together and kind of make some fun plans. So we've done that. We've had the Christmas party. We've had some other different appreciation events. So we have started as of this month. We have started like doing cultural content in the employee newsletter. So we're starting there. And then we also are going to be doing a philanthropy activity. We're going to be planting flowers at a nursing home, and Jeff has graciously agreed to sponsor that for us. So that is all I have. If nobody has any questions. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening. As you all know, this is my last board meeting. I did resign from my position here as Director of Marketing at CityLink. I've been here for over a decade, and I just want to express my thanks to all of you for being so supportive of me over the years. I feel like I really started my professional career here. It's helped me grow and learn myself and learn how to be a professional, and I will be always appreciative of my time here. So thank you all for supporting me for so many years, and I will miss you.
We'll miss you
Thank you,
too.
Emily.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Emily.
Emily. Appreciate you. Okay. Next item is a new facility update. Doug.
Beth was unable to attend tonight, so she asked me to, I guess, run through it, or if you have any questions. Plants. I cleaned that area up pretty well. You can go pretty fast, Chris. Maintenance facility, they are in and operating on the first level, so we have buses in there getting worked on. One of our holdups on this project was the 4,000 amp breaker that finally came in. I think in the next day or two, they're going to be switching.
Where did my white bed go?
Possibly. Yeah, so getting that all hooked up to the electrical system over there, so. The elevator is almost complete, which is behind but ahead, so we're happy to see that. A lot of these drywall places are painted now, so it's looking pretty sharp over there. The only, you go, keep going, Chris. Yeah. The boardroom, that'll be the carpet, wood detail around it. There's some countertop that goes around the top of the board area. And that's the only thing that's, she said is having a little back date on right now. So they had a March completion date for phase B, but now it's gonna be in April sometime, so. Yeah, phase B, final completion, 3/21, I think she said it'll be in April now. We were having tentative elevator inspections, so hopefully get second floor moved over in April sometime, and then third floor late April or May. Oh, with that, we will probably be postponing, we will be postponing the ribbon cutting, rescheduling sometime in the fall, tentatively September. We haven't picked the date yet, so we'll be sending that announcement out next week or this week. Questions, comments? They have started demo in the other building now where they move things out. So there will be progress in that.
Thanks, sir. Next item, the report of Transdev General Manager, Ms. Angel.
Good evening. I don't have a whole lot more to report than what you already have, but our on-time performance still is a challenge for us. We are still significantly short-staffed. I'm still in the process of trying to hire 10 to 15 additional drivers, one dispatcher and one mechanic. So we have all those posted all over the area, and working on that. Our ridership has gone down a little bit, unfortunately, and like I said, I'm always as transparent as I can with you. Some of it is due to our lateness, which is unfortunate. So some people choose to find other alternatives, and I'm not happy about that at all, but I understand what they need to do. Outside of that, we had a really good discussion with Doug the other day. My boss and I talked about different options that we could look at, so you may be hearing some information about that in the coming time, some additional training on our software, and then, you know, as time permits, maybe a different software at some point. But as of right now, we have what we have, and we're going to make it work as best as we possibly can. And I just want to really thank, again, I know my staff has been very, very wonderful. We have a lot, with all the shortness that we have, the union, the drivers, the dispatchers, everybody have been extremely supportive and trying, because we all have a singular mission, and that is to take care of our people out there. And they've done a really good job with the resources that we have. So I just want to give them a huge thank you. And that's, unless you have any other questions, I can answer anything you have.
Questions? No? Thanks, thanks, Angel.
Thank you.
All right, next item, the comments from the public. Nothing? Good? Okay. All right. Any old business come before the board? Hearing none, any new business? Resolution 24-22, acceptance as a special warranty.
I apologize in advance, but I'm going to do some reading tonight. This is the acceptance of the special warranty, which I think we decided in Cliff Notes last year was to make sure we keep unions in place and protect them as we collect our 5311. So whereas Section 5311 of the Federal Transit Act of 1964, as amended, makes funds available to help offset certain operating deficit of the system, providing public transit service in non-urbanized areas. And whereas 49 USC 55333B requires that fair and equitable arrangements must be made to protect the interests of employees affected by such assistance as a condition of receipt of funds under Section 5311. And whereas a simplified process for assuring employee protection that accommodates needs of participants in the Section 5311 program has been agreed upon by the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Transportation by allowing execution of a special Section 5333B warranty for Section 5311 project special warranty, which the Secretary of Labor certified on May 31st, 1979. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District that an application be made to the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation, Department of Transportation, State of Illinois, for a financial assistance grant under Section 5311 of the Federal Transit Act of 1964 as amended. As a condition of the receipt of Section 5311 funds, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District hereby agrees in writing to the terms and conditions of the special warranty attached regarding fair and equitable arrangements to protect the interests of employees affected by such assistance, adopted by Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, 11th day of March 2024.
Can I get a motion to accept the special warranty as presented?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions about the special warranty?
Approve.
Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote? You've already got Mr. Bryan's vote.
Trustee Ahart.
Approve.
Trustee Poe.
Approved.
Trustee Hare. Approved. Trustee McBride, already approved. Trustee Knox, approved.
Motion passed. Thank you. Next item, resolution 24-23, authorization, execution, and amendment of section 5311 grant agreement, fiscal year 2025. Sir.
Whereas the provision of public transit service is essential to the transportation of persons in the non-urbanized areas, and whereas 49 USC 5311, section 5311, makes funds available to the state of Illinois to help offset certain operating deficits and administrative expenses of a system providing public transit service in non-urbanized areas, and whereas the state of Illinois, acting by and through the Illinois Department of Transportation, is authorized by 30 ILCS 7740/3-1 Esquire to provide the Section 5311 grant, and whereas grants for said funds will impose certain obligations upon the recipient, including the provision by it of the local share of funding necessary to cover costs not covered by funds provided under Section 5311. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District that an application be made to the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation, Department of Transportation, State of Illinois, for a financial assistance grant under Section 5311 for fiscal year 2025 for the purpose of offsetting a portion of the public transportation program operating deficits of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District. That while participating in said operating assistance program, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District will provide all required local match funds. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District such application. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is authorized to furnish such additional information as may be required by the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation and the Federal Transit Administration in connection with the aforesaid application for said grant. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District a Section 5311 grant agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation and amend such agreement if necessary in order to obtain grant assistance under the provisions of Section 5311 for the fiscal year 2025. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized to provide such information and to file such documents as may be required to perform the agreement and to receive the grant for fiscal year 2025, adopted by Greater Peoria Mass Transit District this 11th day of March 2024.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2423?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions of said resolution? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee Hare. Approved. Trustee McBride. Trustee McBride. Trustee Knox approved.
Motion carried. And last, resolution 2424, public transportation applicant ordinance. Sir.
An ordinance to provide public transportation in Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Illinois. Whereas public transportation is an essential public purpose for which public funds may be expended under Article 13, Section 7 of the Illinois Constitution, and whereas the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District wishes to provide public transportation for its citizens and become eligible for grants from the state of Illinois or any department or agency thereof, from any unit of local government, from the federal government, or any department or agency thereof. And whereas Illinois compiled statute 740/2-1 Esquire authorizes a mass transit district to provide for public transportation within the district limits. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District shall hereby provide public transportation within the district limits. The clerk secretary to the governing board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District shall file a certified copy of this ordinance within 60 days after passage of this ordinance. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval as required by law. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District a grant application to the Illinois Department of Transportation. That the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of Greater Peoria Mass Transit District all required grant agreements within Illinois Department of Transportation. Adopted by Greater Peoria Mass Transit District and deposited and filed in the office of the clerk and secretary on this 11th day of March 2024.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2424?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions about the said resolution? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee Hare. Approved. Trustee McBride,
Approve.
trustee Knox approved.
Motion passed. Next item, the financial report, February 2024, the board bills. Ms. Sherry.
Good evening, everyone. Our monthly total expenses for the month were 2.3 million, and that represents 5.88% of the annual FY24 budget. This percentage is 0.31% less than the monthly projections. Quick review, looking at the vendor spread, the vendors that were utilized this month, nothing out of the ordinary. Vendor normalcy looks good. The transaction levels also look good. Wages and salaries are level. Likewise, services, material and supplies, and miscellaneous. Casualty is maintaining roughly the same level as prior months. So there were no notable deviations. Capital expenditures, we were actually lower than normal at about $565,000. The next pay app will be paid this week, which will be $614,000. I believe that pay app 33 is also in the works, so that'll be paid out later this month as well. Let's see. Looking at our 8-month experience trend, as I said, with the
different cost categories. Everything is pretty flat. Of course, we do see fluctuations in the capital expenditures. It can be as low as what it is this, or the month of February, which was 565,000. And it peaked, its highest peak was 2.5 million. So it's kind of running the gamut. We're expecting that payout number 33 would be a little more like normal. So, I also wanted to mention, but this is relating to the January review of the board bills. So I don't know if that's going to be on a separate motion to approve, but at that particular meeting, Trustee Pope had mentioned about a duplicate page that was in our expenditure listing. So I think it included like 2 of the January 12th AP listings instead of January 12th and January 19th. Were you able to include that with them? Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For bringing that to our attention. And that concludes the financial report. Are there any questions?
I don't have a question, and I don't think on page 1 of week, February 16th, it says that the air compressor was in for preventative maintenance. I'm glad to see that preventative part in there. Thank you so much. That's it.
Okay, any questions as far as the financial report for 2024? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the financial report as presented? A second?
Second.
Good. All right, can I get a roll call vote for the financial report?
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride,
Approve.
trustee Hare, approved. Trustee Knox, approve.
Okay, next item is the executive closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C relating to employee matters. We just need, what do we do?
Can I make a motion to go into?
Oh yeah, can I get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Please, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.